The Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using the promo code SGPN. Then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. Welcome everybody to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, trying very badly to hide the delight in my voice.
Don't bother hiding it, Malcolm. Just let it out.
I've known Barry for 30 years. I have never seen him smile this wide in my life. Today is Thursday, the 18th of May, and we are here to talk about Newcastle for about 5 hours, if you want. Possibly handicap the games for Saturday and Sunday, the 20th and the 21st as well. Introduce him. Baz, he's got his black and white scarf on.
Yes, come on.
2 or 3 minutes self-indulgence. Mr. Barry Penaluna, how are you doing?
Evening, you all right? I'm doing very well. I've had a very, very stressful day. From the day, the moment the day kicked off, this game was on my mind. And if we lost tonight, the pressure was right on. We were going to be struggling, like, and Liverpool would have just had that boost. Win tonight, it's now all in our own hands. Win on Monday, and we're through into the Champions League. If we don't, and we've got another crack at it next week against Chelsea. And I'm there on Monday. I don't know if I'd mentioned to you, me and Chloe.
Nice.
Me and Chloe have got tickets, so it's about 350-mile round trip there and back, because Chloe's at school Monday and Tuesday, so we'll be driving up at the game. Hopefully see Newcastle clinch Champions League.
Fantastic.
And then head back. So, yeah, delighted. It should be a great... I mean, I bought the tickets hoping we'd have this situation where it could be a great final home game for Newcastle, and it's turned out exactly as planned. But what a stressful day to get there, though.
Well, you're right. I gave my ticket away to a friend of mine tonight because I was feeling under the weather early in the week, and he lives in Thailand but visits occasionally, and helped me out with a job last Sunday because I was ill. He went and ran a casino for me, and I'd struggled to get Newcastle tickets on his visit from Thailand. So I gave Craig, and it's his birthday as well. I only realised that when I said May the 18th. Because he always used to just play 18 on roulette, if you remember. When we were in the casino, we'd always just batter number 18. So Craig sent me a little message just before we got in there that he's absolutely over the moon. But Captain Insano has joined the chat saying he didn't want a somber podcast. Absolutely no chance. If anything, Captain, you're going to be absolutely sick of us by about... You'll be turning over to the MLB show in 10 minutes. Because I think Scotty Too Hotty and Dylan are... recorded the MLB show, so you'll be sick of our stupid smiley faces. But yeah, that's you're right.
Talk about giving your tickets away. Jamie, my brother, he got a message 2 days ago saying, would you like a ticket in the Bobby Robson suite for the Brighton game? And the Bobby Robson suite's full, all-inclusive, the whole lot. So he sent me a message before the game. He's on the champagne, free red wine.
Who's from?
Three-course meal, free drinks, cheese board at half-time. He's got that full whack. Like, he's done it a few times. One of his friends he plays ice hockey with manages to blag the odd hospitality suite. So he's had a right good night. Like, he sent a picture earlier with one of the owners, Jamie Rubin. Shoulders with him. So good night all round. I'm sweating here, Malcolm. Sweating.
It's been
around my neck anymore. I'm going to take it off.
Yeah, you can take your scarf off, Buzz. Take your trousers off. We don't care tonight. Do what you want.
Back to my glass of wine. I've needed the wine tonight. I couldn't get through tonight without a glass of wine.
I've been sensible. I've got my cup of tea still. It was hanging around my neck like an albatross, the game today. Just like a cloud. I was like that kid out of Charlie Brown with the dark cloud hanging over my head. I was like, look, about 3:30, I looked at the clock. I was like, what time's the team news coming out? Oh, not for another 3 hours. I was absolutely just away with it because it was a big game, and we'll talk about it. We're going to handicap Brighton. We're not handicapping Newcastle tonight because they play on Monday. Well, I haven't. I don't know if you have, Baz. It was a bit of an odd game. Who else has joined us this evening? Courtney's here, unless it's Patrick, but I think it might be Patrick and Courtney. Good evening to the Bacchus family. Brian McDonald, bonjour to you. Captain Insano's noticed your shiny head, Baz. But I mean, I saw the team news and suddenly got a little bit more hopeful because Brighton had the 3 best players on the bench and probably the other top player playing out of position at right back. So that was all great. And then they just proceeded. It was a really weird performance from Brighton. There's 2 parts to this. Newcastle were excellent. We had a plan. We stuck to it. We executed. The game only got close because of a really weird sliding doors moment where Miggy should put us 3-0 up. And then 30 seconds later, it's 2-1. But before that and after that, we absolutely battered them. They insisted on playing the ball around their own 6-yard box without being able to get out. And they couldn't get out all game. But they insisted on sticking to it, which I thought was a little bit peculiar. And I think that's where...
Same as you. I said the amount of time they nearly made a mess of it a few times. It's particularly the goalkeeper nearly fluffed it a couple of times. I thought, when are they going to change their plan here? Because Newcastle were causing them loads and loads of problems. I mean, the big surprise for me, you got to half time, Newcastle 2-0 up, and I looked at the stats, and they'd outpassed us, and they'd had more possession than us. But that was purely because it was all just passes along the back, wasn't it? They had about 5 or 6 passes before we won it back off them. They never got out of their own half in that first half.
Well, they put the passing stats up after about 20 minutes, and the goalkeeper made the most passes. And the commentators were trying to tell you that it was because they were brilliant. Oh, look at this. What a brilliant stat. What a brilliant stat. It's not a brilliant stat. Like 17 of them have been goal kicks. And the other 9, he's been shiting himself because Joe Linton was about to kick him into Rosette. So I didn't really get any of that. But yeah, over the moon, delight for Newcastle. Let's not go and cock it up on Monday night. I mean, we should be, at this point, minus 400, 1-4 favourites to get ourselves over the line. So, we'll just have to see. I've got no idea, Baz, what the rest of tonight's results were because, for our little recap, you did a solo, and very well you did too, on Monday. You cover the European games and this Newcastle match. So, obviously, we've got the Champions League to discuss, but do you want to talk us through your results and the European results? Because I've seen nothing tonight at all. Oh, do you? Oh, look at this smile. I don't think you could smile any wider. It's gone again.
There's no way you're getting away with not talking about these games. What do we have? We started off. I've had a brilliant week. Solo Baz, as he's now called in the Discord.
Yeah, Solo Baz.
Twitter and everything. Solo Baz went down very well. In fact, he didn't go down very well. I'd looked at the numbers. The download numbers have plummeted. And I thought, how did people know? You don't know it's going to be shit until you've listened to it. But we had the lowest download numbers for a while on Monday.
What, for Solo Baz?
Yes. Oh, I don't know if they'd read the caption saying Solo Baz and didn't
maybe.
It. But if you're one of those people that only comes in when Mal's here, you've missed out on loads of winners because I put loads of them out. Patrick will tell you because Patrick loves sharing our winners on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's the sort of follower we like. We started off on Tuesday night with Inter Milan against AC Milan. It's going to be a brief recap, but basically that was a winner. I took Inter Milan on the money line. Inter Milan went 1-0 up on 74 minutes. Bosh, even money, winner. We moved on to Wednesday with Man City and Real Madrid. What a game. Did you watch it?
Yes, it was excellent. They were outstanding. It was an absolute... Me and Bob sat next door and just purred all the way through it. Like
it's one of them where you just, as a neutral or not a neutral even, you just watch it and think, this is ridiculous. These are playing against one of the best sides in Europe and just brushed them aside like they were a non-league team. Absolutely brilliant performance from Man City. I took the Asian goal line was my main pick. Asian goal line being 3. So 3 was a push, 4 was a winner. So we won that later on. But knowing full well, a lot of people can't get those Asian lines with their books. I said I didn't mind the over 3.5 as well. And that cashed very late on. So yeah, at that point, we're 3 for 3. Moved on to the Newcastle game. I mean, we've talked about it. But can I talk about my picks on the Newcastle game, Malcolm?
Absolutely, yeah. That's why we're here.
We started off with both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Around about 5 to 6, just short of even money. Cashed. I then put up Newcastle to score twice, Newcastle to score 6 corners at 12 to 5 plus 240.
System play every week.
Every week, paid by half time, plus 240. Half-time,
that's amazing.
Money in the bank. And I put out as a play on its own the corners, the 6 corners every week. Your 6 corners. It was in by half time. We actually didn't get a single corner in the second half.
Wow,
which was disappointing for anyone that did try and ladder them. But the 3 picks, the 6 corners, the 2 goals, both teams to score over 2.5. Hit absolutely everything with ease tonight. So that was really good. In the other games, they're still ongoing at the moment. We've got the Europa League. Europa League's been good. Where are we? Thursday. Europa League. I took under 2.5 in both the Europa League games. Leverkusen Roma's finished 0-0. Or it's 0-0. It's in injury time at the moment. And Sevilla v Juventus was 1-1 in extra time. So cash those as well. So at this point, Malcolm, I think I'm about 8 for 8. Basically 100% record.
Yeah.
Until we got to the
boo.
First up was Ball v Fiorentina, and I've got Ball to qualify. They're currently in extra time, so that's still alive.
So we're live.
Yeah, 2-1. I said on the show, I thought Ball double chance was. I was tempted, but I fancied taking the little bit further and going for them to qualify because that would give the opportunity of an extra time win or a penalty win. So that's played out well so far in terms of, we're still alive. The only other one that hasn't come in is the West Ham game. They won 1-0 tonight, and I tipped the over 2.5. So as it stands, if Ball can somehow get through Fiorentina, we've had 1 losing pick from all of them games. And bearing in mind, we put 3 out on the Newcastle game and 2 out for the Man City game. It was an absolutely cracking week. So yeah, if you didn't listen to Solo Baz, that's your loss. I can't do anything more for you.
It's your loss.
Tons of winners in there for you. And hopefully a lot of people, and I know a lot of people have got on them in the Discord and on Twitter, had a lot of feedback. So Monday was stressful. Like, it's hard work talking by yourself. I'm sure you've done the odd 1 or 2 on your own.
I've done 1 solo. Just I did 1 MLB, which was obviously an arc to triumph. I think
you might have done 1 in the World Cup as well.
Oh, did I? Clearly a memorable episode.
It is hard talking for 45 minutes. There was a lot of ums and ahs and ahs and a lot of nose scratching, as we know. But
I think it helps, Baz, if you're really good looking. So that gives me obviously a bit of an advantage. Like,
probably why I nailed it,
Yeah, that must be it. Only joking.
I'm just a little winners out, Malcolm. That's all.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they don't care what you look like. If you can put a few winners out, they don't care.
Yeah, I know. I'll get rumbled soon enough. I just had a little notification on my phone that Sheffield Wednesday have come back from 4-0 down against Peterborough and are 4-4. That's gone into extra time.
I just looked 2 minutes ago, and it was 3-0, and I'd got a message saying, "Do you reckon they can pull this off?" That's unbelievable turnaround that in the League One playoffs. Yeah, 4-0 down. They were dead and buried. Captain Insano's right. He says he thinks the podcast needs to change to Baz and Mal. I should have probably.
Captain Insano is never right. Can we just point this out? All he does is hang around in the shadows in the comment section of these podcasts and just troll people, and he's never right. So, right, I'm going to tell you about Edge Boost. This is fun, Baz. A bit of a head scratcher. SGPN is excited to announce an exclusive early access partnership with Edge Boost, the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Similar to buy now, pay later programs like Affirm and Afterpay, Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest and pay back the advance over 4 equal weekly installments with 0 interest. Simply deposit your funds into your account. Edge Boost will match the deposit so you can use double the funds on any legal sports betting site. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in advances as you build a repayment history. With this special offer, the first 500 SGPN users will start at a $1,000 advance limit, and the next 2,500 users start at a $500 limit. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to sign up today. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. Must be 21 or older. Only valid in legal gambling states. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I've got a new Twitter algorithm video thing, Baz. Do you want to hazard a guess what it might be?
What's new? What's new, Malcolm?
What's new on my Twitter line this week is animals that are mates with each other that shouldn't really be mates with each other. So it'll be like a video of a fucking monkey giving a strawberry a tortoise or something. like a tortoise to a strawberry, or like a fox and a badger playing with a pine cone or something like that.
Right.
That sort of stuff. Interested in that?
Any particular reason why that's coming up?
Oh, no one knows the reasons. I started muting all the fighting because I'm blocking that. Because I normally just let it run its course, but I didn't like the fighting. So I was seeing loads of fighting. So I said, I'm not interested in that. You click the little button, see you're not interested.
It might be because we share a Twitter feed, obviously, for the Premier League one. And I probably watch all the fighting stuff. And then that maybe sends it to you. I don't know.
Right, yeah. No, but this is like... I have
not been watching animals that don't...
It's not official fighting. It's like people scrapping in Tesco's and that.
I'll still watch that.
You see it. Yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of that. Serial's turned up in the chat. He's lolling at something. We don't know what he's lolling at, but he's always lolling. Good evening, Serial. How you doing? We haven't mentioned the Championship playoffs as well before we crack on, just to say commiserations to Sunderland. I nearly got it out, Baz. I was trying to be genuine then. Commiserations to Sunderland. Another year in the Championship for you. Crack on. That was a little bit childish, and I can only apologise. So,
we're going to talk about the Newcastle game, Malcolm.
Still, again.
Well, is that it? We're finished.
I think so. Baz, we've done 17 minutes, man, you crackpot. We haven't even approached picking a game.
We've summed up all of last week.
And but me and you can talk about that.
My only observation is I'm going to do my best Jurgen Klopp, where I should be really, really happy with the outcome. Where the fuck did 8 minutes of injury time come from at the end of that game?
Oh, there was a lot of rolling about went on.
No way. If that was still 2-1 and the 8 minutes had gone up, I'd have been livid. As it happened, it went up just as the fourth goal crossed the line. So I didn't.
Joe Willock was down for a while. Bruno was down. Joe Linton was down the entire game, and then they had some injuries. Caicedo was down. There was all sorts going on.
Yeah, we've got a couple. I think we should cover a couple of other things before we.
Okay.
We move on. So first of all, Clippity Klopp finally got his ban for being a tit. Did you hear that?
One, yeah. Well, 2 games, but one suspended.
One suspended. So he misses Villa. He's not on the touchline. That was for him being a tit during and after the Spurs game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where strangely they won 4-3 in the last kick of the game, and then all he wanted to talk about was the referee being a cheat. That's got him a 1-game ban. Not that bad. 1 game's not bad when you compare it to.
It's a few quid as well, yeah.
8-month ban. What do you think about that?
I don't really care.
No, I never do. I mean, I think 8 months is probably about what everybody expected him to get. Because you look at what other players have got along the way. So basically, he's been found guilty. It
doesn't till January, half a season.
I mean, it said he'd gambled something like 270 times. And this was over like 4 or 5 years. And I thought, what sort of man what sort of gambler is this?
Jesus.
Like, surely you could get that in a week. If you put some effort in, Ivan, come on.
A good Saturday.
Exactly. On a busy weekend, no problem. What do you think about the length of the ban in relation to bans given out to players like missing drug tests or being found guilty of racist behaviour?
It's probably largely disproportionate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing, isn't it?
The only thing is, the integrity of the game is at stake with gambling, where a racist comment or whatever, as deplorable as it is, wouldn't put the integrity of the entire sport up for grabs, where a professional player gambling would do. People can call the sport into question on that, so that would be it. I don't think it's... What I'm saying is that the bans for the other things should be more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we don't know if he was gambling on his own games or games that he could influence. That's not come out yet. But when you consider Luis Suarez got something like an 8-game ban for being found guilty of racist behaviour. Eric Cantona got an 8-month ban for physically assaulting a fan, kung fu kick into the stands. That was an 8-month ban. And for me, that's not as bad. I was trying to think, Rio Ferdinand, what did he get? He missed a... drugs test, didn't he? Did he refuse?
Oh, yeah.
Or he was an 8-month ban as well for not being drug tested. I think it's out of sync. And the other thing is, you see pictures of there's a picture. Someone put a picture of Ivan Toney with Hollywood Bets across his strip. And Sky Bet around the outside of the pitch. And another gambling sponsor somewhere out on the pitch. And it's like, we're going to put all these gambling sponsors everywhere. However, you're getting an 8-month ban for going and gambling. A little bit contradictory, like.
It is contradictory. I think they should look at it. And I think they probably will look at it. There's been a review and stuff. But, I mean, they equally knew the rules, do you know what I mean? So,
absolutely, yeah.
It's not surprising. Like I say, I'm not hugely arsed one way or the other. It will knock a little bit of a hole in Brentford. They'll have to go and buy a striker in the meantime, and it puts a little dent in his career when he was on the verge of the England squad. Hopefully, learn something. He's young enough. It seems like a sensible lad. So, one of those things. I mean, any American listeners that we have, all of this is coming your way. An absolute avalanche. We had it in myself and Noah on the MLB show talked about this 2 weeks ago. There was the first betting scandal in college baseball where the coach had phoned his mate who was in the casino, told him to bet the other team, and then they pulled the starting pitcher from the game. But this, you'll love this, Baz. The game until his bet had attracted $35. That was and then him and his mate tried to get on like 20 grand or something and expected not to fly. But this is the sort of thing we had 20 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's big in the cricket in the past, hasn't it? It's been big in tennis, cricket, snooker, game sports where there really is the ability to manipulate outcomes.
To spot fix.
Like I mean, we're quite often in our Discord channel, we quite often get the odd table tennis fix. Did you see the latest table tennis fix?
Yeah.
Someone came into the soccer chat earlier in the week and said he had a fixed match. This was the game. This was the pick. If you're looking to get big money on it, drop me a message. And somebody posted an hour later the result, and sure enough, the man who was supposed to win never won.
Oh no!
You do get the odd interloper, don't we, into the Discord advertising a fixed table tennis game. Bore off.
I like a bit of table tennis. I'm quite good at it.
We have reached out to Ivan Toney anyway. We've asked him if he wants to get on the show. If he's a bit, got plenty of free time, if he wants to come on and give us some of his best picks, we're always willing to welcome. So our door is always open if Ivan Toney's a little bit bored and wants to make some punts.
Correct, Baz. Okay. 9 games, Saturday and Sunday. We are very much at the business end of the season. I mean, it's been hard. You've got the relegation teams absolutely fighting for their lives. A few more things have sort of settled down now. Southampton have gone. The European places, there's fewer teams involved in that. Kind of Tottenham have dropped out. Brighton, you would have thought, have dropped away. So there's fewer teams to be involved. Wolves and West Ham and people like that have got safety. But it's been a bonkers few weeks. So let's see what we can do with a 12:30 lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, which is 7:30 Eastern time between Tottenham Hotspur and Brentford. Tottenham 5-6 -120. The draw is 26-9 plus 290, and Brentford are 3-1. First word I've got here is tricky. Spurs are hanging on to 7th, which is a place in the Europa Conference competition. The competition that West Ham have just made the final of tonight. Now, they've been making the right noises. Harry Kane has come out and said, yes, they'd like to play in it. I don't know if that's true or not. Brentford can still make it, but they're unlikely to make that competition as well. We just touched on Ivan Toney's 8-month ban. So Tottenham did win their last home game, which was the 1-0 win against Crystal Palace, but then were soundly beaten at Aston Villa last weekend. Brentford took advantage of West Ham resting a few players for this cup semi-final when they beat West Ham last week, a game that we tipped up Brentford in a nice spot. And Brentford have won 3 of their last 4 after a little bad spell. So, in terms of sides here, I've really got no idea. Because Brentford could down tools. Brentford could just wrap in. They've done their bit for the season. They really haven't got anything to play for apart from the glory of a highest finished in their history, that kind of thing. Tottenham, again, might turn up and have a game. I think Mason will keep them honest, I said last week. But again, not really an awful lot to play for. So I wasn't particularly enamoured with either side. Tottenham do seem to have calmed down from those mad games they had when they got humped at Newcastle 6-1, then went down 4-3 at Liverpool. They beat Palace 1-0. They weren't very good at Villa last week, but they do most of their winning at home. We've talked about this. Brentford's last 4 away games have all come under 2.5 goals. And now they're missing their top marksman in Ivan Toney. I always mention the lunchtime kickoffs can be a slow burner. So I'm going to head back to the under 2.5 goals here, Baz, which is plus money. I love this. 11 to 10, plus 110 for the under 2.5.
Hey.
You going straight over, Baz?
Oh, definitely.
We're doing this again.
I took overs last week in the lunchtime game, Malcolm. It paid off for me, so I'll do it again. Doesn't scare me. Spurs just one win, in the last 6 following the defeat to Villa last week. One draw, 1 win, 4 losses. Over 2.5 has hit in 8 of the last 10 games, and both teams to score has hit in 9 of the last 10 games for Spurs. And Brentford have refound a bit of form, having gone 6 without a win. They've now won 3 of the last 4. As I say, we now know Toney will be missing till January now. But they managed just fine with him last week. Fair enough, they were playing an under-strength West Ham team, beat them with relative ease. But Wissa and Mbeumo stepped in with the goals there in Toney's absence, and there's no reason why they can't do it again. They're both decent players. Spurs' form generally might be quite bad, but at home it's still quite reliable. 6 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 defeat in the last 9 home games for Spurs. On the money line, I do find Spurs just a bit too short, though. I think Brentford will play their part in this. I think Spurs are always conceding lately, not many clean sheets at all. So I'm going to follow the recent trend of goals in the Spurs games. Over 2.5 goals at 8 to 11 is my pick here. Good start, Malcolm. No help to anyone.
Absolutely no help to anyone.
What I'd say is, obviously, I'm in fine form this week, so plenty of help if you just follow me.
You are, Baz, yeah. I didn't pick any losers. This week, Baz. Next up, we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, of which there are 4 on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Bournemouth against Manchester United. Bournemouth 5-1. The draw is 15-4 plus 375. Manchester United are 1-2 minus 200. Bazza.
Yeah, so Bournemouth are such a hard team to predict from one week to the next at the moment. They've now gone 14 games without a draw, 7 wins and 7 losses in the last 14 games. So make of that what you will. You just can't. You look at the format and there's nothing to follow. Like, it's hard to pick anything up from them. Man United's away form isn't pretty. They've got no win in the last 3 away from home, and just 1 win in the last 6 away games in the league now. There's a big game for Man United with Newcastle winning tonight, and with Liverpool now sort of looming in behind them in the race for the top 4. Massive game. Man United need to win this one, or Liverpool could be hot on the tail. But given the recent form away from home, I think they're 1-2 for this game. What price for Man United?
1-2.
Yeah, they're just far too short for me. So I can't be backing Man United at that price on the road. Courtney Backus is a Man United fan. She's saying, "Let's go Red Devils."
Yeah, I'm not having that.
Not for me. That not for me.
Come on, Courtney, do better.
So I can't back Man United because of the price. The last 4 games have all gone under 2.5 goals. I could possibly see them shutting out Bournemouth here and nicking another 1-0 or a 2-0. So under 2.5 just looks the obvious play. And it's 6-4 plus 150 for under 2.5 goals. And I think it's a really decent price. Since the 7-0 defeat against Liverpool, Man United have played 10 games in the league and only once have they had an over 2.5 goals. So 9 of the last 10 have went under 2.5. And yet the over 2.5 sitting here at almost 1-2, 8 to 15. So give me the unders. Man United, Bournemouth, under 2.5 goals, 6-4, plus 150. That's the one for me.
That, Baz, is an excellent piece of handicap, and it's everything I arrived at the same conclusions on. My little box says under 2.5 at 6-4 plus 150 is far too big, and I do not know why. The 7 of their last 8 has gone under 2.5. That 2-0 win against Wolves is a great example last week of what they've kind of been doing. Bournemouth may have checked out on the season. We'll have to see. They've done their bit, and emotionally and physically, it's impossible for them not to ease off a little bit. Unless they go out and play with a load of freedom here against Manchester United. But yeah, for all the reasons you've stated, Baz, absolutely 100% the same bet. 3 o'clock is Fulham versus Crystal Palace. Fulham are 13-9 plus 145. The draw is 12-5 plus 240. Crystal Palace 26-9 plus 290. Fulham have 2 wins in a row after 3 tough fixtures. They got Mitrovic back last week. Alexander Mitrovic, their talisman up top, and he duly scored away at Southampton. I think he'll be keen to make an impression after his 8-game ban for shenanigans in the FA Cup. As we know, I have got no idea what Crystal Palace are up to at any point. They have lost the last 2 away games, however. They're missing Wilf Zaha. Now, that used to be the absolute acid test. No Wilf, no win, Crystal Palace. But the likes of Michael Elise and Eberechi Eze, who's been absolutely outstanding lately, have kind of put that to bed just a little bit. However, I got to take Fulham at home. I took them to knock over Leicester a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who we had them. Who did they knock over last week to beat someone at home? We got them to win at Southampton. So I think they're still putting it in. And Southampton had more to play for than Crystal Palace here. So Fulham are just too big. 13-9 plus 145.
Again, it's going to be another team ride, this one. But neither of these teams look to be on the beach. Both of them are safe now, but they're still putting in good performances in recent weeks. Fulham have won the last 2. Palace have won 2 of their last 3. So, they're both still playing. There is a tendency at this stage where you can spot teams who just look like they've packed up for the season. But I don't think that's the case with either of these. As you see, a bit of a contrast in terms of Palace having lost Zaha for the season, whereas Fulham are getting Mitrovic back. And as you said, he was straight on the score sheet last week. And I wrote down exactly the same thing, although Zaha is a key piece in the jigsaw for Palace. Eze has come into the fold now as one of the key men for them and is looking good at the moment. But I've just wrote down, I think it's a tricky one to pick from. There isn't any result in this game that would be a shock to anyone. Both capable on the day of beating the other. They're close enough in the market where you just have to take a lean one way or the other. And for me, it's towards Fulham. I think it's 6-4. They're a good enough price against a Palace side who have won only 2 of the last 10 away from home. So that was what pushed me a little bit towards Fulham. I think they're in slightly better form. They're at home, and you're getting them at 6-4 plus 150. So Fulham on the money line is the pick for me. Okay,
Baz, we're starting to sync up, Baz, 2 in a row. 3 o'clock's crack on with Liverpool against Aston Villa. Liverpool are 9-20, which is what? Minus, I didn't write that one down, Baz, work that out. Just a shade over minus 150.
What was the odds? Minus 150?
9-20 they are. The draw is 4-1, and Aston Villa are 21-4, which is plus 525. Liverpool, Baz, same old issues we have handicapping them, still chasing Newcastle down, but dagger in their heart tonight, I think.
Yeah, you can hear the silence on Liverpool tonight after that result, because there's absolutely no doubt Liverpool fans were believing, weren't they? They were absolutely believing.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And rightly so. They got themselves right back into it, and potentially
they can still catch Man U, Baz.
I know, that's what I was just about to say. Man U have still got the pressure on them. We've took the pressure off ourselves a little. We've still got to finish the job. But yeah, that was a tough result tonight for Liverpool. They'll have definitely been willing Brighton to get something. So that's it. Clippity Klopp finally got his ban, so he is banned for the game. He won't be on the touchline. They're on a 7-game winning streak. I said partway through that 7-game winning streak, they would not win the rest of the games this season. Absolutely no chance. And I've been proven wrong so far. They probably should have dropped points against West Ham, Spurs or Forest. Games that they scraped through and got some favourable decisions along the way. But they have been good value for their more recent wins, and they have kept clean sheets in the last 3. But I think if you look at the 7 wins they've had, this Villa side are better than all of them, I think. And it's definitely the toughest game of the run-in for Liverpool. And realistically, I think it's the last place where Liverpool might drop some points because they have got Southampton on the last day of the season. And you can see them possibly run up a score there if they needed to. Certainly, if Champions League is potentially still there for them on the last day, you could see them absolutely battering Southampton potentially. Villa bounced back last week from a mini slump, having lost to Wolves and Man United without scoring a goal. They went and beat Spurs 2-1. Prior to those two defeats, they were on a 10-game winning streak. A 10-game unbeaten streak, winning 8 of those and drawing 2. So they have got 9 wins from the last 13 games. Still a good side, still in generally good form. Just a little bit of a sort of blot on their copybook with those 2 games. At home, Liverpool are consistent. They've not lost in the league since October when Leeds beat them. They have had a few defeats in European competition. But whilst they're in good form at home, the last 4 wins have all come by a single goal. And before that one was a draw against Brentford. So Forest, Spurs, Fulham, Arsenal all managed to keep it tight at Anfield recently. Brentford managed to come away with a draw. And I think Villa can do the same. I think they can make a good fight of it. So my first instinct here was Villa double chance, which is available at 13-8. But I think of the prices. I'm willing to take a punt on Villa here.
Always going for it. Go on,
so I am going for it. I'm going to take it. I think it's higher than 5-1, plus 525. I think they're reasonable value. They won't have many backers here. Liverpool are rightfully favourites for the game. Maybe there's a little bit of wishful thinking here from me. And I was, writing these notes before Newcastle got a win tonight, and I was a little bit nervy about us not getting the result tonight. But I think Villa have a live chance here. And at 5-1, I think it's enough to tip me their way. I said all along I thought Liverpool would drop points somewhere. If that's going to be right, this is the only place left now. So give me Villa on the money line to beat Liverpool, 5-1. If you want to play it a little bit safe, I make it a double chance, take them to win or draw, and take the 13-8. But that's the pick for me.
Okay, love that, Baz. Neck on the line. Yeah, Liverpool have been better. The last couple of wins have been comfortable. The last 2 home wins have both been 1-0. And you'd think that the lack of goals and the clean sheets both seem like outliers. It's really hard to judge. Villa beat Spurs well. The only thing with Villa, have they got a bit of an inferiority complex because we handicapped them quite positively when they went to Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago. I think our tip maybe Villa team total. We'd mentioned them as live underdogs, and they just never turned up at all. So maybe there's an element of them wanting to just show how far they've come tomorrow. They've had 2 disappointing 1-0 defeats away from home against Wolves and that Manchester United game. What I'm doing here, Baz, is I'm taking the stats over my gut. Liverpool, 2 1-0 home wins in the last 2. Villa, 2-0 away defeats in the last 2. Very similar to the Bournemouth Manchester United game. The under 2.5 goals is 6-4. I don't like it at all. But the numbers are there for me to put that bet on with a clear conscience. So I'll take the under 2.5 at 6-4, plus 150. The final 3 o'clock on Saturday is Wolves against Everton. Wolves are 7-4, plus 175. The draw is 23-10, plus 230. Everton 8-5, plus 160. Wolves won 4 of their last 8, all of them at Molineux, their home ground, all of them to 0. They're actually 10th in the home table now and 8th in the form table. So Wolves have picked up nicely, got themselves out the shit. Still very much in the shit are Everton. The only thing they have in their form is that absolutely insane 5-1 away win at Brighton a couple of Mondays ago. Other than that, they've drawn 3 and lost 4. That win has put them in the best position of the 3 teams still in with a chance of going down, Everton, Nottingham Forest and Leicester. This is going to be tight. It's going to be fraught. Wolves are always play a sort of close at home. The under 2.5 is the obvious. So the lack of goals is the obvious thing here. That Everton scoring 5 by far is an anomaly there. They don't score many goals. Calvert-Lewin came off at half-time, and I don't know if that was just surrender or injury. He gets injured all the time. But then I did think Sean Dyche just thought, bollocks to this, we'll just wait till next week. So I don't see anything in Everton's form line that should make them favourites here. I mean, Everton are favourites away from home. That's absolutely insane. You've got to take it on trust that Wolves will try 100%, but I don't see why not. I think Wolves are a great price, 7-4, plus 175. I can already see you laughing, Baz. You backed Everton here, haven't you?
In a fashion. I mean,
okay.
We can both win. We can both win still.
Nice.
I mean, but as we know, I mean, the first thing I've wrote is Wolves again. Every week. So
Crystal Palace for me.
Doesn't matter what I say. Wolves are awful for me. I can't get them right. I should just be able to play a pass card. I should just be able to skip Wolves games at the moment. Just play my joker and say I'm out. This is not for me. But anyway, this is the Premier League Gambling Podcast, and if there's a Premier League game, we'll make a pick. So I'm going to make a pick. Wolves are back to alternating wins and losses again. Last 6 games now, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. 3 wins, 3 draws, and both teams to hit no has hit in 6 of their last 7 games. So there has been a clean sheet on one side of it in 6 of the last 7. The wins are definitely coming at home for them. 4 in a row to be precise, and 4 clean sheets in the last 4 home games. And Everton have just 1 win in 9 now. Everything's leaning the opposite way to where I'm going to go with this, basically. That 1 win was a dominant display against Brighton, and absolutely agree with you. It was an outlier, 5 goals, outlier. But it will give them a bit of confidence. It's put them in the best position of the relegation fight, as although Forest are still involved and still above them. I think they've shown enough fight in the game against Newcastle, in the game against Leicester, and then again against Brighton, to show that they can get the points potentially to secure safety, and they could potentially do it this weekend. I'm not taking them on the money line, but I'm taking them in the total goals market. And it is completely against the form of Wolves at home. They've won 4 in a row. They've kept 4 clean sheets. But I just think sometimes at this stage of the season, recent form can go out the window, very much as it did in the Brighton game. And I'm not saying it's going to be another game like it was at Brighton, but I think Everton are going to make a fight of this and have I think they'll see this as their opportunity to get themselves safe this weekend, get it done and dusted, no pressure on the final day. I'm going to take Everton to score 2 or more goals here, and it's at 6-4 plus 150. So that's a pick for me. Everton team goals against Wolves over 1.5 at 6-4.
Okay.
And, we can't stop there. I'm going to mention it again. We'll mention it a few times lately. We sort of swerved it a bit last week because they were playing Man City. But it's a bit of a sort of system play. In the Discord at the moment is Dwight McNeil, shots on target. He's got really, really good stats down the last 6-7 games of hitting at least 2 shots on target every game. As I say, Man City, you sort of give him a free pass in that one. The game before that against Brighton, he'd hit his 2 shots on goal. He actually scored both of them. But this week, Dwight McNeil, 1 shot on target is 11-10 plus 110. And for 2 shots on target, you can get him at 6-1 plus 600. That's just another one of them. We like it when there's something that just keeps hitting. We keep riding it until it doesn't. And at the moment, as I say, I'll give him a free pass for not hitting them against Man City. But I'm happy to play those again. So Dwight McNeil, shots on goal, 1 or more at 11-10, and 2 or more at 6-1. And Tease, our Dutch friend, will like that. I'm sure he'll co-sign that. He was the one that flagged this up to us a while ago.
I did make Dwight McNeil the cover boy for this episode, Baz. I don't know if you noticed or not. People think this shit's just thrown together.
Question in the chat there. I am DST, which is a new name in the chat. Thanks for getting involved. He's asking which bookie we're looking at. My picks here are we're mostly looking at Bet365.
Yeah, same.
Certainly for the shot stats and things like that, Bet365 is my pick, and I think you can get that. I think a lot of our US listeners use Bet365 well as thingy, so that's where we're looking for those.
Yeah, same. Every line I've given out so far has been Bet365. So yeah, but yeah, we'll shop around because there will be the odd bigger price wherever you go. I'm not sure. I don't think we'll all be sitting on one account, knowing the DGen philosophy at SGPN.
Well, Serial's already put out FanDuel as another option for those. McNeil
okay, nice.
There we go.
There you go. Nice. Cheers, Serial. Shady Rays teaming up with SGPN for Shady May. You get an amazing 50% off, but a chance to win $500. Shady Rays got you covered from the sun to the slopes, the clear optics, all your outdoor adventures under control, and the lost and broken replacements offer is top class. If you break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked, or you can exchange or return them for free within 30 days too. So there's no risk at all with Shady Rays. For our international listeners, Shady Rays got you covered as well. Shipping to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. Go to shadyrays.com, use the code SGPN for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Then take your receipt to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500 Shady May contest. Got some good news here, Baz. The IT department's been out for tea with our mate and come in, and there's a big bag of, I don't know what restaurant it is. Blue and yellow bag, maybe. Just having a look, but there's some pulled pork, maybe tacos, burrito type things. It looks like there's a little box of all the condiments, all your guacamole, etc. And then there's another box. What?
That sounds lovely, like.
I'm over the moon.
I'm sitting here now, having been on the wine watching the Newcastle game. Before I come on here, actually, Helen said, "What have we got for snacks tonight?" Because I was having a glass of wine. She's had a bottle of prosecco as well.
Oh, nice!
So the question was asked, what have we got for snacks? And I'm a bit short tonight, so you're spoiled rotten there. Are you?
Absolutely spoiled rotten. Hats off to the IT department. Right, Baz, we've got about 10 minutes to whack through these 4 games because I've got to talk ponies with Sean and Ryan. Very soon. We'll get to the tea time game on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff, which is 12:30 Eastern. Nottingham Forest against Arsenal. Forest 9-2 plus 450. The draw is Burlington Bertie 100-30 plus 333. Arsenal are I didn't write this down. 1.57. What's that? Minus 170 something. You tell us about it. You start talking, I'll get the odds.
You find the prices. I think Forest have given themselves a little bit of breathing room here with 7 points in the last 4 games. They've won the last 2 home games and have scored 7 in the process. But they aren't keeping them out at the other end. They haven't kept a clean sheet now in 15 games in a row, and they've conceded 11 in the last 5 games. Arsenal season's done. They can't win the title now. Technically they can, but let's be honest, they won't. City need just 1 win to seal it. And that's if Arsenal win everything from here. Arsenal have only won 2 of the last 7 games now. So I said a while ago, and all the talk was Arsenal have bottled it. I thought it was a bit harsh, really, to be fair. But 2 wins out of 7 from where they were at is poor. There'll be a few in there that'll be kicking themselves. But they were well beaten against Brighton the other day. Not in great form. Have they bottled it? I mean, we're talking about a City side who have went on a 12-game winning streak or something again. It's sometimes City will just steamroll you. So it's hard to know what version of Arsenal we'll see here. Will they be bruised mentally? Or will they bounce back here and finish the season on a high? I don't know what we're really going to get. But I think Forest will concede, as they seem to do every week. But they are making a fight of games, and therefore I think I can take the goals here. 10 of Arsenal's last 11 games have gone over 2.5. The last 5 for Forest have been over 2.5 goals as well. Now, 2 over 2.5 is a little bit short, so I'm going to the Asian goal market. It paid for me last night with a Man City game. So I'm going 3 goals on the Asian goal line. So it's over 3 at evens. That cashes if we get 4 goals in the game, and it pushes if we get 3. Again, that's on Bet365. Some books will give you the Asian. There's a few books will give you the Asian lines. That's a bet for me here. Over 3 goals on the Asian market around evens. As we say, cashes with 4, pushes with 3. Got a bit of chat there about the League One game. I was just about to mention it actually, but DJ Madness is in the chat. It went to extra time 4-4. Chef Wed then scored an own goal to go 5-4 down, and they've just scored not long ago to bring it back to 5-5. That's got incredible. 3 minutes left before they head to penalties. But what a comeback that will be from Chef Wed if they can pull that one off.
We were talking about the old DGen Madness champ the other day, Megan Baz, because we were talking about the Reading badge. I can't quite understand where that came from. So if you want to tell us that story, by all means do that. Forest aren't safe yet. They got a rare away point at Chelsea. That helps a lot. Trying hard. Won the last 2 home games, including a 3-1 against Brighton. They beat Southampton 4-3. So, yeah, goals. This is where I was looking, Baz. You've taken a goals prop. I've taken a goals prop. Whole game hinges on Arsenal's response because they've now got nothing to play for. They're tools they can wrap in. They will be mentally done in after what happened to them last week. My bet, I've taken I was a bit chalky for the rest of the card. I've taken Forest team total here, Baz. I think they can get a couple. They got a couple of Chelsea last week. Forest team total over 1.5 is at a price of 9-4 plus 225. So I can easily see this being a 2-2 or Arsenal nicking a 3-2, something like that. So I'll take Forest to stick a few in the onion bag. We move across to Sunday, where the first game is 1:30 kickoff, which is 8:30 Eastern time, between West Ham United and Leeds United. Congratulations to West Ham on making the European final tonight. If you've got any West Ham fans, absolutely delighted for you. West Ham are 11-8 plus 137. The draw is 5-2 plus 250, and Leeds are 26-9 plus 290. In isolation, if you just looked at the bare numbers, West Ham league form's relatively poor. They've lost 4 of their last 5. The only win came against Manchester United, where they were absolutely outstanding last week. But they had done the hard work before that, and they've been concentrating on this European 2-legged affair against AZ Alkmaar. I saw Leeds in person last week. They did okay, but I think if Newcastle had been anywhere near top form, we'd have spanked them. Leeds didn't really show an awful lot of quality, so they tried hard a little bit. And the worst thing that Newcastle did, Leeds got in front, and then they could start all the time waste and all that shit. Interesting, this one. So they still haven't won in 7 games, and they've conceded twice in both Allardyce's games. I'm going to take the under here. West Ham are coming off this Thursday game. They're either going to make changes or be knackered, one or the other. I think Leeds will just be happy to keep it tight. Allardyce is going to take no risks. I don't think he's the sort of manager who's just going to go for it. They'll try and keep it 0-0 and nick it in the last 20 minutes or so. So the under 2.5 for me. Even money plus 100, Baz.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham's hard to know what to expect. I mean, it would take a miracle for West Ham to be relegated now. I mean, despite poor recent form in the league, they've lost 4 of the last 5 now in the league. And I admit a lot of that is because they've had their sights firmly on this Europa Conference League, and rightly so. This one is must win for Leeds. They're still in the bottom 3. They've got Spurs in the last game. I know Spurs aren't anything to fear now, but I think this one is... I think one Leeds have got to target, just given the situation again with West Ham playing tonight. I mean, Leeds have got no win in 7, but similar to Brentford versus West Ham last week, I just think this might be a good spot for them. With West Ham having played tonight, they might rest a few again, as you say. If they don't, they might be a bit tired. And without all of the motivation of needing to win to stay up or anything like that. And the focus now will definitely be. I mean, you're not gonna rest everyone for the rest of the season until Europa League. I get that. But I just feel like Leeds might have a bit more energy. And we saw enough from them last week to suggest they can make a bit of a fight of the relegation battle. They're not down yet. So for me, it's just for exactly the same reason as I opposed West Ham last week, as I'm going to do so again. Leeds on the money line, 19-10 plus 190. I'm going to take Leeds to win this, and it's madness when you look at Leeds' form, but it's purely situational. I just think West Ham will probably rest players again. They don't need to win this game. There'll be a lot of celebrations from West Ham players, a lot of sore heads tomorrow. A lot of them probably can't be asked to play on Sunday. So, yeah, give me Leeds on the money line, 19-10.
Okie doke. 2 o'clock kickoff, which is 9 a.m. Eastern time. Brighton against Southampton. Brighton 1-5, minus 500. The draw is 6-1. Southampton are 12-1. Weird performance from Brighton tonight. Weird team selection. I know they've been busy. Maybe I just think they're hanging on for 6. They're not hanging on for 6 at all. Sorry, they've made their way into 6th place behind a string of exceptional performances. And I thought maybe they played tonight with an eye on Sunday. They knew they were going to make the Champions League. And they've stolen a march on Tottenham for 6th place. So they didn't make those changes.
Have they stolen a march on them, though?
What do you mean?
I mean, what's the points difference at the minute?
They're
1 point ahead. They're 1 point ahead of Tottenham.
Yeah.
They are hanging on. There's no.
They're not hanging on because they've just got there.
Spurs are there. They've got a game in hand, Brighton, and the game in hand against Man City. So
and Aston Villa are on the same points as Tottenham as well, but they're a point in front of those two. They've got a game in hand, so they're in the
game in hand against Man City.
Okay, yeah, good point. They got the point, but they're in pole position for that, and they've got a home game coming up against Southampton. Is my point. Southampton have gone, so. Last week, Southampton had something to play for and couldn't manage it. Were absolutely terrible at home to Fulham. This week, Southampton have nothing to play for. It's a really difficult spot for them. I mean, the only game they haven't lost in forever is that 3-3 draw at Arsenal. Really weird. Brighton will put those players who didn't play back in today. So McAllister, Ferguson, what's the little Paraguayan fella? Did you know what that made me laugh today? Yeah, Miguel Almiron found the one person in the country that he could bully and then attempted to bully him for a little bit in the second half, being Miguel. Yeah. They'll all start. It was really, really hard. Brighton won't change. We saw that tonight, microcosm of what they're going to do. Brighton team total, over 2.5, 7-4 plus 175. Bet.
Love it. I've wrote down here which version of Brighton turns up. Is it the one that lost to Forest, Everton, Newcastle, or the one who went and beat Arsenal, beat Man United, battered Wolves? It's just unpredictable at the moment. And I don't think... I mean, certainly they lost to Forest fairly easily. They did get blown away by Everton in that first half. Came back, created a lot of chances. And tonight they haven't... I don't know. Newcastle played well as opposed to Brighton playing that battle. And it was a bit of both, really, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So, yeah, as you said, they're still in the Europa League spots, but I think with Spurs and Villa right behind them, Brighton certainly can't ease off at this stage. And with Southampton now down, it's just a case, will Southampton play any better now the pressure's off? And I just can't see it personally. I just think they're not very good. I don't think they're good enough to raise the game anymore at this stage. 5 of the last 6 games for Brighton have went over 2.5 goals. They've won 4 of the last 6 games. That was before tonight. So they've actually now only won 4 of the last 7. Southampton have now lost 4 in a row. They've lost 7 of the last 8 as well. No win in the last 7. Failed to score in 6 of the last 11 games as well. So I struggled really to write too many notes because I was doing this before the Brighton game tonight, and I could have had to change things depending on how the game went. But I haven't. Nothing tonight's really changed my mind, I would say. And I've done exactly the same as you, Malcolm. Brighton will win here.
Yep.
And Brighton will win well. And I'll take Brighton to score 3 or more goals at 4-5. Minus 125. Southampton have conceded 3 or more in 5 of the last 10 games.
You got Brighton to score 3 or more goals at what price?
I've got 4-5. Have I picked the wrong price out?
7-4, Baz, I've got.
You've got 7-4. If I'm in to ask 7-4, I might have been looking at the wrong game.
4-5's a bit skinny for that, isn't it?
I might have wrote it down wrong. I'd started drinking wine by that point.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, we'll double check that. But my pick is for Brighton to score 3 or more goals. I like it. I think, as I say, Southampton have conceded 3 or more in 5 of the last 10. Brighton have scored 11 in the last 4 before tonight's game. Even in defeat tonight, they managed to get on the score sheet. So, yeah, I don't mind that at all. Just bringing it up now. Brighton team goals. It's 4-5, Malcolm. Over 2.5 goals. Sure is.
Oh, well, I'm giving some
that change your mind, Malcolm. You trying to squeeze ridiculous prices out of things. Yeah, his notebook's better than mine. I reckon you're probably cockeyed and you've read it wrong.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Well, the Sheffield Peterborough game's gone to penalties, so that's fun. Right, final game here is 4:00 on Sunday, which is Manchester City against Chelsea. Again, Manchester City can win the league. They will be Premier League champions if second half goals, Baz. That's what I looked at. Oh, what a doofus! It's 4-5. Yeah, scribble that out. Manchester City will be Premier League champions should they win this game. They are 1-4 to do it, minus 400. The draw is 11-2 plus 550, and Chelsea are 10-1. Baz, Man City get this done.
10-1. Well, maybe Malcolm. No, I'm not that stupid. So as you say, Man City can win the league here in front of their own fans, and this is the last chance to do that. It's the last home game of the season for them, and we know they've now won the last 16, I think, at the Etihad. And after the way they brushed aside Madrid last night, you wouldn't bet against them making it 17 in a row against Chelsea. Chelsea still have just one win in 11 in all competitions. They've not kept a clean sheet in the last 6 games. They've mostly been remembered for the lack of goals in recent times. But they have managed to score 4 in the last 3 games, which is a significant uptick for Chelsea. But I think City win here, and I think they'll win with ease again. They will possibly make changes. Foden, Alvarez, Mahrez might come in. But whoever comes in, I think they'll score at least 3 goals again. And I'll take City goals. I mean, I'm not even sure how much they will rotate. I mean, there's obviously something up with De Bruyne. He didn't have his best game last night, and that's in a 4-0 win. And there was something going on. Thierry Henry made some comments about how he'd spoke to him, and he couldn't mention what was going on. But he was amazed that Kevin De Bruyne had played last night and played so well, given what he has going on behind the scenes. So it sounded like there was some personal stuff going on. He got very emotional when he scored against Real Madrid last week. So I don't know what it is. Might be that he gets a rest if there is something in the background. But otherwise, the likes of Haaland and Grealish and Silva, Gundogan, I think you play them, don't you? The Real Madrid game is miles away now. You've got 3 Premier League games before then. You've got an FA Cup coming up. I think this week I don't think they'll ring the changes as much as people might expect. They'll try and win the league here, and then they can play it however they want. In the last 2 games, focus on the FA Cup final, focus on the Champions League final. So I think City to score 3 or more goals here, 10-11. I mean, look, at home to Madrid, they put 4 past them. At home to Arsenal, 4. At home to Liverpool, scored 4. And in each one of them games, it could have been 5s and 6s and 7s every time. I mean, Courtois played out of his skin in the first half last night to stop Haaland. So, yeah, no reason at all they can't do the same here. So the pick is over 2.5 City goals at 10-11. It could be party time at the Etihad. You can take them to get 4 if you want. Take your 5-2 plus 250 for them to score 4 or more as well. But yeah, the main pick, City over 2.5 goals.
Yeah, obviously I was trying to find a way of dressing this game up the same as you. I think Man City will come out. You've seen it in games like this before, where a team just needs to get it done. I think they can absolutely fly out the traps and put this to bed really, really early. They were irresistible in the week. Absolutely outstanding. I think they'll just come out and blitz them, get it done. No sweat. Manchester City in the first half Asian handicap, -1.5. It's a price of plus 255, which is just a shade of over 5-2. I think Manchester City can go in at half time, 2-0, maybe 3-0 up. So that'll be my pick on this one. Sheffield Wednesday are going to do this. They need to score one more penalty.
Peterborough have missed one, haven't they?
Yeah, Sheffield.
I wish I was watching this, Mark. It looks like it's been an absolutely cracking game. Yeah, I mean, for any team to go 4-0 down in a game like this in the first leg and to come back at home and turn around a 4-0 deficit is astonishing. If they see it out, Christ. I mean, my gaffer at work is a Sheffield fan. I'll no doubt be catching up with him tomorrow, and he'll be absolutely buzzing if Sheffield pull this off. But yeah, it's certainly looking like it. Okay,
this is the worst display of hurrying up, Baz, I've ever seen, by the way. locks, dogs, goals, parlays, etc. My lock is going to be Fulham, 13-9 to beat Crystal Palace. Why am I taking Palace? I've already said I can't get Palace right, and then I've locked them up. This is how certain I am. Serial asking what half-time, full-time. Oh, I see. You can find that, Baz, on the Man City game. It won't be very big, I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, Fulham at 13-9 plus 145. My dog is Wolves to beat Everton. Why are Everton favourites away from home? That's absolutely baffling, that crap. 7-4 plus 175 on Wolves. Goal scorer, I'll go back to the Fulham game, and I think Alexander Mitrovic came off the bench last week after that break. Got one. He is 15-4 plus 375 to score first. And 7-5 plus 140 anytime scorer. In my parlay for what it's worth, I don't think I've hit any of these all season. Liverpool on the money line. Brighton on the Asian handicap minus 1.5. And the Man City team total over 2.5. That comes in at a price of 7-2 plus 350. And I've already written rubbish. It's a rubbish bet. It's a rubbish price, and it won't win. So there you go. What you got, Bud?
Chef Wed have just won the League One playoff final on penalties. Amazing. Serial Man City half-time, full-time against Chelsea is at 4-5 minus 125. My scorer, kicking off with a scorer, is Mitrovic at 7-5.
Hey.
Team ride on that one. I do like it, as you say. I think he'll finish strongly, coming back from a big break. Got one last week. I think there'll be goals in this one. He'll get another one. My underdog, it's got to be Villa to beat Liverpool. 5-1 plus, well, just over 5-1 plus 525. My lock is over 2.5 goals in the Spurs v Brentford game. Is that the one you've went
under? Yeah, you've lost that.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we done this last week. My lock, you opposed it, and obviously I won because I'm better than you. The treble is an over 2.5 treble. It's West Ham v Leeds. It's Brighton v Southampton. And it's Forest v Arsenal. It comes in just over 3-1 for over 2.5 goals in all of those games. So West Ham v Leeds, Brighton v Southampton, Forest v Arsenal, over 2.5 goals in each of them at around plus 300.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. A very giddy episode tonight, especially earlier on. Me and Baz were absolutely buzzing. Baz, carry on getting that red wine down you. I'm going to talk. So if people have got the stomach for it, I'm going to talk some ponies for Sean and Ryan. Oh, in fact, these just messaged me saying it's not live. We're just recording it, so you do what you want. Treat yourself. But do look out for that episode, and my Preakness Stakes article is up on the website, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Like, rate, review, as Baz says, give us 5 stars and thumbs up.
Can I just give you one very, very quick story, Malcolm? Take me 1 minute.
Yeah, why not?
Last week, Chef Wed went 4-0 down. And on Twitter, someone shared a poster in a pub in Sheffield. And someone called, I think she was called Lisa, had said she'd booked a bus for Chef Wed at Wembley. This was before the game. If anyone's interested in a bus to Wembley for the Championship playoff final, give me a call on this number. And then obviously they got beat first leg 4-0, and it went viral all over Twitter. Everyone was all over it. And everyone was messaging Lisa saying, can I book on your bus for Wembley? Thinking Chef Wed were never getting to Wembley. No chance. Lisa's had the last laugh, hasn't she?
Lisa has had the last laugh.
She's got a bus booked. Everyone else has cancelled their buses. Everyone's going to be chasing her for tickets tonight.
Lisa should be carried shoulder high around Wembley by those Sheffield Wednesday fans. Hats off to Lisa. Well done. So, good luck with your bets. Me and Baz will be back probably Sunday night, I think, this week. Not much happening on Sunday, but we can discuss that off air. Thanks, everyone who joined. There was loads of names in the chat tonight. Courtney, Captain Insano, Serial, and everybody else. Really appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Good luck with whatever you're doing. Back Sunday. We'll see you down the road. Cheers.